Come in. Ms. Washington?
I'd like to withdraw from the case.
On what grounds?
Irreconcilable differences.
You're going to have to do better.
Hypothetically, let's just say a lawyer has reason to believe his client is a serial killer. Would that be legal cause?
Is your client asking you to commit a crime or fraud?
No.
Your request to withdraw is denied.
Hypothetically, what if he's about to commit a crime?
You have knowledge of that?
Well, not specific knowledge, but common sense.
Common sense? You realize you violated your ethical obligations coming in here with this?
You asked whether I had legal cause. I just posed a hypothetical.
Counsel, I'm going to give you the benefit of intelligence and assume that you knew before you walked in here that you didn't have cause.
Look, if a client doesn't pay, that's legal cause to withdraw. I figured something a little more serious like rape or murder might qualify too.
Yes, and you figured if you couched it as a hypothetical, you could make an end run around the legal ethics, and that maybe I would pass on the information to the police. You were wrong.
Suppose he kills somebody else.
Counsel... Did you come in here for me to make it easier for you? I will. Go and prepare your closing. And if I have the slightest suspicion that you are not vigorously defending your client, I will, I promise you, turn you over to the Board of Bar Overseers. I will report that you passed on information prejudicing your client, that you tried to bias me against him, and that you threw the case. And you won't even make it to tomorrow's ceremony. Mr. Donnell, I'll see you in chambers in a minute. For the record, I won't allow any more arguments in question form. All lawyers love to do it. You seem particularly fond of it. And I'm putting you on notice right now that I'll be cutting you off in open court.
I don't think I've been any more argumentative than the district attorney.
Well, I think you have. But I'll be shutting her down, too, if we come to that.
Is that all?
No. Could you sit? This is a little awkward. I take pride in adhering strictly to ethical obligations. And as gray as this is...
What's going on?
It has absolutely no bearing on this case. Well, I suppose the easiest way for me to say it is for me to just say it. About 6 weeks ago, I had what I would consider to be an extremely erotic dream. And you were in it. I won't go into the details, except to say that you were quite well represented. The problem is that I shared this with Judge Hiller. She and I are friends, as you know.
You told Judge Hiller?
Oh, she's more of a sport than you think. We had a couple of schoolgirl chuckles. Anyway, as you also know, if there's anyone more insistent on ethical obligations than I, it's Zoe. She came here yesterday, and she said, given that I had a sexual fantasy involving one of the lawyers on a case over which I'm presiding, I should perhaps recuse myself. Now, I thought the idea ridiculous, and I said so. But, as she pointed out, a judge has the duty to avoid even the appearance of impropriety. Now, it has no influence on this case, but I felt that perhaps I should bring it to your attention, and if you feel that I should recuse myself, I will. But I...
if it has no bearing...
It doesn't.
And I think the trial's going well for my client.
Well, it would definitely be unethical for me to comment on that.
If you don't think it'll interfere with your ability to be impartial, then, I'm okay.
Fine. That's all then. Bobby, this, of course, is extremely sensitive, not to say embarrassing. If you would mind not telling anybody.
Your Honor.
Oh, great. 6 years I've been riding this elevator. I don't think I've ever been on it with you. Make one lousy confession.
Well,
I do apologize.
it wasn't something you could avoid.
Well, isn't that a vain take on it?
I didn't mean it that way. I meant it was a dream, not something you did consciously.
It's just, it was so vivid.
I'll see you in there.
Yes.
It's irrelevant.
That's for a jury to decide.
It is not, Gene. Relevancy is a bench call. The jury...
And how about letting the bench make the call? I'll take it to Benny. If I think it's
Your Honor, whether or not he had a valid gun permit, it doesn't make any difference.
Then why are you so concerned?
Because she's putting it in to make my client look like a bad guy.
I'm putting it in to show your guy has a thing about guns.
Oh, please.
I'll admit it to Benny. If I think it's prejudicial, I'll strike it later. It's not a bill with much of a ding, counsel. Let's go back in.
It's irrelevant, and you know it.
I think I am going to recuse myself. I keep thinking about you. Do you know what it probably is? It's that stupid cologne you're wearing. My husband wore that. We even buried him in it. Maybe I'm having a midlife crisis. Anyway.
Well, it'll probably be a mistrial.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
Well, what reason will you give a mistrial at this point? It'll be on the record.
I don't know. Maybe I'll say I've taken ill. Ah, what a mess. You know what Zoe said to me? She said, Roberta, your heart would never go anywhere uninvited. And then she said, are you sure he doesn't have a little crush on you? That's not the case, is it?
Well...
I don't mean to embarrass you. What? Is it so totally nuts, you and an older woman?
No.
You can be honest. I'm recusing myself. Have you ever fantasized about an older woman?
Jacqueline Bissett.
Jacqueline Bissett. And not me.
Well, I mean, you're the judge. Even if I would never with the judge... It's probably the rope.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for being human. We'll be getting you another judge.
Okay. Thanks.
I thought about it all night, and I really do feel I can stay impartial. In fact, I know I can. And if you don't mind, I'd like to spare myself the embarrassment.
Your Honor.
Look, if you have even the slightest suspicion that my work is being affected by my hormones, bring a motion for recusal. I will take myself off. Is that fair? I am overruling the objection.
Your Honor.
The objection is overruled. Sit down, counsel.
Prior bad act.
Pattern!
Counsel, approach.
2 years ago, he shot at a man he claimed he thought was a prowler.
Oh, come on, that's completely inadmissible.
This man shoots first, claims fear later.
I'm not going to allow it, counsel.
Your Honor, I'd ask that you declare a mistrial. There's no point.
You're not going to get that.
The jury heard that.
And I will give them an instruction, but we're not calling any mistrial.
It's a legitimate cause for a mistrial, Your Honor.
I've made my ruling. I heard you're entering a play.
Did I have a choice?
Is there accusation in that tone?
The statement from the neighbor was hearsay. It shouldn't have come in. Nor should the prior bad act.
You made those objections. They're on the record, which means you can appeal them.
A little tough after we plea.
Don't enter one, then. Problem is, you know my rulings will hold up on appeal.
I know they might. They're close. You could have gone either way.
And what? You expected me to go your way because I like your glutes?
I didn't expect you to retaliate for my not liking yours.
I can take rejection as a woman, Bobby, but I don't much care for being criticized as a judge.
You erred as a judge by asking me out.
Which I freely admit, but my rulings were legally accurate and completely independent of any personal feelings.
I can never know that, can I?
Make your appeal, then.
I never will know.
Well, they think about 2 weeks for the Boucher trial. No, manslaughter. Well, it's pretty straight ahead, but there's a lot on forensics, so who knows? Yeah. No, that'd be all right. We'll put it on the calendar then. Really? No, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah. Bye-bye.
God, Lindsay, you've been provoking her?
Lucy!
Bobby,
Your Honor.
what's going on?
One of our lawyers just got arrested.
Lucy!
Could we talk in private?
Sure, my office, Lucy. Okay, Eugene, get going, take Lindsay.
I'd rather take that case.
Never mind.
What? Never mind.
Lindsay, go with Eugene, get Helen, maybe she can help with Eleanor. What's up?
Well, you're not going to believe it when I tell you. Actually, you might, considering. Yesterday afternoon, I was served with a complaint against me, filed under seal by one of my former law clerks. He's claiming sexual harassment.
What a shock.
Funny. The claim is baseless. Nevertheless, I have to defend myself against it. That's why I'm here, to hire you.
You want to hire me to defend you in a sexual harassment case? Don't you think that's a little strange?
Why? You're an excellent attorney.
Who you've had erotic dreams about.
Oh, please. If I had a dime for every erotic dream I'd ever had, forget it.
Oh, is that what you'd say at your deposition?
Look, if you choose not to represent me, that's fine. But I don't think you need be discourteous. I'm sorry to have bothered you.
Why would you want to hire me? Sexual harassment isn't my specialty. Though it would be a good way to disqualify me as a witness should I ever be called to testify.
And why would you be called as a witness? Nobody knows what happened between us. Unless you told someone. I certainly didn't.
Nothing happened between you and me.
So then this hostility just comes out whenever anybody tries to engage your services.
Well, let's just say I have a hard time believing you're totally innocent.
Let's just say I have a hard time believing you only represent the totally innocent.
Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that I do.
I am innocent. I had an affair with the boy. The truth is, I think he still has a thing for me. After he finished as my law clerk, he asked me to write him a letter of recommendation. I did. Wasn't glowing enough in his eyes. He's retaliating.
Okay. Which brings me back to why me?
Look, if this goes public, I get destroyed. Merits aside. I want somebody vicious enough to make this go away, who's not afraid to get ugly if he has to. I asked around. Word is, you're it.
So you don't deny the affair?
No, I don't. Nor did I regret it until yesterday.
Can you tell us how your relationship with Kevin Michaels began?
Our professional relationship began when I hired him out of law school to clerk for me. Our physical relationship began about 4 months later. It was a Friday night. We were going over a draft of a rather convoluted opinion regarding stock fraud. And, well, I suppose one might say I seduced him.
Why might one say that?
Because I did.
Can you be more specific?
Do I need to be? The basis of this lawsuit concerns what happened after he left my employ. We can all stipulate to the sexual affair.
We're on a fast course to settle this. I need to flush out some of the background before advising my client.
All right. We were working side by side, going over this draft. He reached across for something. I don't remember what. And he inadvertently brushed my breast. He began to apologize profusely, and perhaps to dissipate his embarrassment, I said, "Don't be sorry. I rather enjoyed it."
What happened next?
Well, he just stared back at me. I'd obviously shocked him. But he had an expression almost as if he were titillated a little as well. And, oh, I don't know. Maybe because the hour was late and my senses were fried, or it was just the dare in me. I said, "It's not the worst thing in life to be touched, you know?" And I reached out my hand. I touched him and said, "Not so bad, is it?"
And then?
And then, at the risk of sounding immodest, I gave him the best fellatio known to mankind. I am sorry to be so blunt, but I think we all know what can happen if you don't come clean at a deposition.
Your Honor.
Am I early?
No. We're set to go in about 20 minutes, and Bobby wanted to go over some stuff.
Do you perhaps have something I could just nip? Oh, hello.
Hello. Could I get by?
Oh, terribly sorry.
I'll be down as soon as I can. I don't mean to add pressure, but if we don't win this, Eleanor faces a long haul.
I know.
Showed.
No. Do you have any idea how that knife got there?
Had to be George. You never showed him the letter.
Not before I sent it out. I suppose I should have. This isn't about that letter, Bobby. You read it. It may not have been laced with superlatives, but it certainly wasn't critical.
Well, He's suing you for it, so...
My bet is he's suing just for the privilege of these depositions. He gets to be in the same room with me again. I don't think he's over me, to tell you the truth. Is everything okay?
Fine.
By your own admission, this affair was consensual.
Yes, but I feel that after it ended, this letter, it was not a ringing endorsement. That was clear to anybody who read it.
Well, did it say anything negative?
No, but it wasn't glowing. I think it's what she didn't say that was conspicuous.
Is it possible that you weren't that great a clerk?
It's possible, but...
But what?
Well, I don't think she had the opportunity to really know whether I was a good clerk or not.
And why is that?
Well, once our personal relationship began, the only thing that transpired in her chambers was sex. Over the last 7 months, we probably made love 2 to 3 times a day, sometimes 4.
4 times in one day?
One day, I think we hit 11. She was insatiable.
Wow. Are you claiming that in any way it was against your will?
No, it was the most amazing... Look, I didn't complain. And if she tried to seduce me again today, I can't honestly say that she wouldn't succeed. Knowing how... Look, my point is that what chance did I have to excel at being a clerk when all we did was...
Mr. Michaels, why did you ask her to write a recommendation in the first place?
It was probably a mistake. I just figured, I don't know, if a woman can't get enough of your penis, chances are she'll write a decent letter.
Can we go off the record here a second? Kevin, I will write you a superlative recommendation right now. Make a call or 2. I could get you a job in a second. How about I do that? Can we call off this lawsuit?
It's a little late.
No, it isn't. This isn't about you getting a job, Kevin. It's about getting me.
Excuse me?
You're obsessed with me. Does your lawyer not know that?
You're sad.
Am I? I could give you an erection from across the room. We both know that. Go ahead, stand over there. I'll prove it. Probably getting aroused right now. Stand up, Kevin.
Hey, let's just go back on the record.
Oh, hello. I'm Roberta Kittleson.
Lindsay Dole.
Yes, I know. You have quite a reputation at the courthouse.
So do you.
You can go in.
Excuse me.
Pretty simple. 10,000 and a better recommendation, and we close it today.
Why should I give him money?
Because he's looking to save face, and it goes away now. Merits aside, this will look bad for you if it goes public. Let's keep it sealed and be done. Can I tell them yes?
I suppose.
Great. I'll draft some papers, have you sign them.
Bobby. Thank you.
I'll be in touch.
No, this is a really good result. We put this out in a day. Good result.
Yes, and thank you, too, Jimmy.
Listen, maybe you want to get a glass of champagne later? Toast our victory?
Well, would you like to do that?
Well, only if you would.
Sure.
Good.
So this was all staged to get a warrantless arrest?
Figured they had a weak link in our chain with Leonard.
How many officers involved?
Oh, Well, investigation's just starting, but so far they think 5.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Anyway, at least things ended well. Here's to your case.
Yes. Tell me, Jimmy, do you typically toast victory with all your clients? Or did all that sex talk make you curious?
Oh.
I'm sorry. No, you can be honest.
Well,
just between you and me, which part of the testimony was your favorite? Do you remember?
My mind's a little blank at the moment.
I'm sure it is.
It isn't fair. The guy is like this sad sack. It was entrapment.
What do you want from me, Jimmy?
You know, I would never ask a favor in a million years that I thought was, unethical.
I don't know that, actually. But go ahead.
The guy is getting a bum shake. He's worked hard in his job, and he's about to lose it because some undercover cop got him aroused, and it's vintage entrapment.
So make the argument.
I'd like to make it to you. Judge Cohen's going on vacation. This thing will get transferred to 1 of 6 divisions, including yours. I know Mark, Patsos, the clerk. I'd like him to steer it your way.
That wouldn't be a good idea. I wouldn't kick it. From where I stand, your client committed the crime. And second, I don't appreciate your even asking what you're asking. It amounts to an ex parte communication. It's wrong, and you know it.
I got a good guy here.
I don't care.
Fine. Forget it. Fine.
You're angry now.
Just forget it. I gotta go.
Hey, Jimmy. Look, I understand that you want to help your friend, but you have to understand that once I put on that robe, I don't play favorites for anybody.
I thought I'd just take a shot.
Oh, I do like that. You do take your shots. Say, why don't you come back in a couple of hours, when the rope is off?
How up-to-date are you on the Fourth Amendment?
The Fourth Amendment is an embarrassment. What else do you need to know? What's wrong?
I may have to set the nun killer free.
What?
Warrantless search. Stupid police mistake.
Oh, God.
Maybe I should just look the other way. Let the appeals court do the dirty work.
That isn't you, Zoe. We both know that.
Suppose I transfer it over to you.
Well, it's not me either. Besides which, I'm having a little thing with one of the lawyers at Bobby Donald's firm, so I'd have to recuse myself anyway.
What?
Oh, Jimmy Berluti. Little frolic.
Have you lost your mind?
What? I'm not supposed to have a personal life?
Well, you shouldn't be having it with lawyers who appear before you.
I don't. That's why I just said I'd have to recuse myself. You know, it's been quite a while since I've seen you smile. It wouldn't be such a bad thing if you went out and got yourself a...
Never mind. What am I going to do, Roberta? The man viciously killed a nun. I put him back out there. He'll no doubt kill somebody else.
What about the kidnap charge?
It won't stick. They arrested the guy coming back to the house with coffee. The phone in the apartment worked. She was free to make a call. Clearly, she wasn't being kidnapped. What the hell am I going to do?
Pretty women don't come in here, except for Beck.
I take offense at that.
Roberta.
Hi. I just swung by to tell you that I won't be able to see you later tonight. I got to check on Judge Hiller. She may need me.
Well, how'd she rule?
Oh, she hasn't yet. I don't know which way she's going to go. So, can I please have a rain check for dinner?
Sure.
Oh,
sure.
Oh, she's made up her mind. I'm going to go. I'll call you later.
We're friends.
Don't you dare just barge in on me like this.
Just tell me, yes or no?
To which question? Did I have a dream about Bobby? Yes. So what?
What about the other... How many lawyers have you been with?
That is certainly none of your business. You want to tell me how many women you've been with?
You heard of the Boston court buffs?
Of course I've heard of them. They fill half the room sometimes.
Well, they got a website with a program. It talks about you and me. It's got a picture of you and me on the elevator. It also has headshots of other lawyers you've been with, they say sexually.
What do you mean it's got a picture?
There must be some security camera on the elevator. How they got access, who knows, but...
There's a picture of you and me?
Kissing. And there's pictures of other lawyers, just headshots, but it says you've been with them.
This is on the internet.
Yeah.
What else does it say?
I don't know. I didn't really want to look. I came right over here.
Got a picture of you and me kissing.
From the elevator.
Well, how do I find this website?
I don't know. Lindsay found it.
What's her number?
She's probably home by now.
What's her number? So this is what people think of me.
It's just a stupid website.
This goes into people's homes. Lawyers who appear before me, they've probably all seen this.
I'm sure some have, not all. Look, nobody believes this stuff.
You believed it. That's why you came running down here so angrily. You believed it.
Well, is it all true?
Some of it is, yes. I have been with some of these men. How could... This is my private life.
Welcome to the information age, Judge.
This is evil. It's evil.
Robert Olson for the defendant.
Theft of electricity? Are they prosecuting that these days?
Your Honor, the defendant is a superintendent at an apartment complex. He installed cameras to tape one of the dwellers, then he uploaded her naked images on the internet. Theft of electricity...
Hold on a second. Well, Mr. Connolly. Did you get the wrong judge?
We'll waive reading, Your Honor.
Why don't you wave goodbye while you're at it? Did you have fun invading a young woman's privacy?
Excuse me, Your Honor?
Counsel, you speak when I ask you to. Uploading her naked images on the internet? Funny, I just discovered things about me on the internet. Maybe there's stuff about all of us. Who knows? Take off your pants.
Your Honor!
Bailiff, would you please take Mr. Olson into custody? He is in contempt.
What?
You want another chance? Then shut your mouth. Mr. Connolly, drop your pants right now, or I will add contempt to your charges, and you will go straight to a jail cell. I am going to count to 3. 1, 2... No underwear. Figures. And nothing much else, I might add. Do you feel violated, Mr. Connolly? Exposed? How does it feel? Would you turn around and face the gallery? Show them what you haven't got.
Your Honor, even I have to say, this is a little bit irregular.
Tough! Turn around, Mr. Connolly. Take Mr. Connolly. Put him in jail. We can arraign him again tomorrow. Would you call the next case, please? Leave your pants right there. At your ankles.
Case number 32624, Commonwealth versus Waterman, criminal violation, illegal disposal of toxic waste.
That was different.
Imagine his luck. Getting me for a judge. Of all days.
You okay?
I am so... You know, I am no prude. I would have no problems taking the bench, naked, so long as it were my choice. But to be...
Well, hopefully the laws on internet stuff will start to change. Maybe the test case will come before you.
It did bother you reading all that stuff, didn't it, Jimmy?
Yeah, but, you know, it's my mother's influence. In the back of my mind, I guess I was still hoping you were a virgin.
Yes, we know you thought that. Thank you.
For what?
For being there. It helped.
Well, whatever I could do.
The whole weekend? What about coming back a little early?
I just don't feel right being away right now. She's in critical condition.
You're right. I understand. Anything I can do, Jimmy?
Just pray, I guess, with the rest of us.
It's okay.
The doctors say we should know something soon, but I don't know. You get nicked in the heart, you can't...
What? Jimmy, are you okay?
What? Oh, I was just thinking about something the doctor said. That's all.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just... this is all kind of stressful, you know.
At the risk of seeming completely insensitive, my mother told me that the day my father's father died, he was so despondent that all she wanted was to take his mind off it, even if it were just for a minute or two. And when all else fails...
I'm not in the mood for that right now.
I am.
Your Honor, we have a warrant to search your house. If you'll excuse us, please.
Check every closet, under every bed.
What in God's name is this?
Step aside, Your Honor.
What are you looking for?
Evidence in connection with the attempted murder of Lindsay Dole.
What? On what basis do you get such a warrant?
Your Honor, if you'll just cooperate, we'll do this quickly.
This is preposterous.
Your Honor.
I know she is your roommate, Miss Gamble, but that does not give you the right.
Detective!
Oh, please.
Read her rights.
Your Honor, if you'll place your hands behind your back.
You are making a big mistake.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present before and during all questioning.
Roberta. I am innocent.
I didn't ask. What was with the nun suit?
It was a costume. I was going to wear it to some Halloween party, disguised as a prude.
Okay, ma'am. Free to go.
sorry. I saw the picture of Bobby and Lindsay with the face all scratched. My brain just started going sideways.
I might as well go home and burn my robe.
It was within your discretion. Hey, these laws don't get revisited higher up unless some superior court judge forces the issue.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
You were booked on a homicide, Roberta. Don't tell me you're fine. I'll be in my chambers. You don't ever want to be appearing before me, counsel.
Please, get out.
I never really thought you did this, Your Honor. I simply had to recognize that...
That you couldn't be certain I didn't.
Well, sometimes people react bigger to things when emotions are running high. This was a friend of mine who got stabbed. A dear friend, and you might be somebody that I've fallen in love with. A little. So just the idea that you might not be the person I thought you were, it made me have this big overreaction. I don't know how to say how sorry I really am.
Trust me, whether you are able to convey your sorrow here is completely irrelevant. Please leave.
I don't want it to be over between us.
It is. Whatever you believe, Jimmy, believe that.
Do you have a second?
Would this be ex parte?
Well, it may or may not be. I'll let you be the judge.
Gee, thanks.
When I saw that this case was going to your division, I thought about bringing a motion to recuse you, since both you and George Vogelman had inadvertently been listed as suspects after Lindsay Dole was stabbed. I know it's not a direct conflict, but... well, after seeing the anger of George Vogelman and what a false accusation can do to a person, I have to be honest and ask the question. Can you see straight on this issue?
Can I see straight on the issue of being falsely accused of something?
Yes.
Well, if I couldn't, wouldn't my bias run in your favor?
I don't know.
You don't know? Any thoughts as to how this case ended up before me, counsel? It's because you went to the Favor Bank and you asked a certain clerk named Benny to make sure this case dropped into my lap, figuring my bias would work for you. I see a lot straighter than I'm given credit for. As I said, I will take the matter under advisement. In the meantime, get your ass out of my chambers. Jimmy.
You got a second?
I suppose.
Listen. I know your integrity as a judge comes above anything else. And I'm here, actually, to ask your help or advice. It's kind of a grave thing.
I'm listening.
I would appreciate it if we could keep this confidential, because it involves a privileged relationship on my end. I got a client convicted of a serious crime which he didn't commit. His son committed it. My client doesn't want his son to go to prison for the rest of his life. So he's taking the fall. I can't convince him to come forward with the truth. Nevertheless, I got the truth.
You have evidence that the son committed the crime?
Well, just my client's word, but it's a good word.
So basically, you've got a client convicted of a crime who says he's innocent. You expect what?
Well, I don't know, but this isn't just a case of the convicted guy saying he's innocent.
It's exactly that. That's what happens in 90% of the cases. Now, you have new evidence, you take it to the DA. If you don't, what am I missing here?
Well, I guess I am looking for a favor, though I don't see it like that. We're both officers of the court, and injustice has occurred. Right now, if I go to the DA, he's just going to laugh. It's going to seem exactly as you just said. I'm going to look like every other defense attorney throwing a Hail Mary. But if I go in with a judge, that might give me some credibility.
Get out.
If I could convince you that what I'm saying is true.
I said get out.
You can help prevent a big miscarriage here. This integrity of the robe thing, that's just a bunch of crap.
Hey, you think I won't hold you in contempt?
Go ahead. We'd be even. Roberta.
Can I speak to you in private? First of all, you had no right to reveal to me your client.
I didn't give you names.
I can figure it out. Give me some credit. Now, are you sure your client is telling the truth?
Yes.
What you first need to do is get his permission to talk to the son.
Eugene's trying to do that now.
Right, assuming he consents, you need to get the boy counsel. I would then try to secure a written confession with counsel. Then you take that to the district attorney and you go from there. But the boy must have counsel.
Yeah.
The reason I got so angry. When somebody so much as asks for special treatment on the basis of a personal relationship, I consider it a professional indictment. And I take offense.
I wasn't trying to insult you professionally, Roberta. Everybody knows you're a great judge. That's why I came to you. For advice. And maybe a little because I missed you.
Well, you have my advice. It's so easy to play if I'd just done that. If I'd only said this. You'll lose that game, Jimmy. I put killers back out on the street only to have them kill again. You can only be true to yourself and trust that.
No. You can only be true to the rules. You put killers back on the street because the rules of law told you to. The rules here, they said honor privilege. I broke the rules. And now a kid is dead, and my client, I don't have any system to cling to.
You saw a terrible situation. You tried to improve it. Cling to that.
Police, freeze! Roberta!
Get out. Get out, all of you!
Judge Kittleson?
Out! Get out!
Let's go.
What?
I came to surprise you.
Oh. Worked. What were you thinking?
Is that why you came? To compound my humiliation? Because believe me, it's not possible.
Roberta, I didn't know you and I were speaking romantically, much less...
I find it difficult to tell a man I miss him. For whatever reason, it's just easier to show up in his apartment naked. My God. How can I ever make eye contact with people again?
Oh, you said that when you were on the internet. You got over it.
This is much worse. I was standing there naked. I can't even imagine what people must think.
But why do you care what they think? You're always saying when you put that robe on, you're a judge. It's so important that everybody think of you as a great judge with integrity.
Part of being a good judge is the appearance of dignity.
So they walked in on your personal life. That doesn't make you any less dignified professionally. You weren't doing anything illegal. It was a big mistake. And know what they were all talking about, Roberta? Your body. How great it is.
Really?
I wasn't calling you over and over last night just because I felt bad for you. You got me a little worked up. I'm not happy I walked in there with the police seeing you like that. I'll be honest, I was shocked. But I was glad to see you. I've missed you too.
I'm not allowing you to switch to insanity now.
Your Honor, I was in an irrational and delusional
Mr.
state.
Oz, you had the option. You chose to enter a plea of not guilty on the elements. I'm not about to let you change your mind because the trial isn't going well.
Your Honor, we're all officers of the court here.
I just love that, especially from defense attorneys. You were an officer of the court when you entered that plea. You are now going to have to live with that plea. 20 minutes, back in session. Mr. Oz, earlier you said self-defense.
No, I'm sticking to my version. I believe it was self-defense.
But that belief has to be a rational one and not an irrational.
Save your closing arguments till later, you midget.
I object to that on record.
Object to it on a stool. We'd hear you better.
If you are about to suggest that he was mistaken, I will instruct that the mistake has to be a reasonable one, just like the midget Mr. Bay says.
Why don't you let us present our case before you start criticizing it?
At your own peril. Step back. Recuse myself?
Your Honor, I had no idea when this trial began that you and Jimmy Berluti were seeing each other again socially. I just found out. There's a huge conflict of interest.
I have never discussed this case with Mr. Berluti.
It doesn't matter. You have a relationship with someone in my firm. There's no way we can go on.
And if I were to recuse myself, we would what? Bring in another judge and finish the trial?
No, I think that you'd have to declare a mistrial.
What a surprise. Get out!
You worry about the integrity of that road.
And it hasn't been compromised, trust me. Your integrity is another matter.
You're sleeping with one of my associates. We won't even discuss the wet dreams you've had about me. You shouldn't be on this case.
Please leave my chambers, counsel.
Nice try.
You saw it yourself. She all but murdered him.
What?
You're lucky I like you, Eleanor.
I'm lucky
any
you
other
like me?
district attorney...
Settle down. I'm sick of these scream fests.
One could make the argument she deliberately tried to induce a fatal heart attack to eliminate a chief prosecutorial witness.
One could, but he'd be a tiny little fool.
Hey!
All right. Now, I am warning both of you.
Your Honor, obviously Mr. Morgan's testimony has to be excluded.
Why?
Our client has to have full opportunity for cross-examination. We were cut short.
Bogus.
I'm sorry.
If ever a witness were fully cross-examined, she killed him.
Mr. Bay.
I knew they would try this. I knew it.
Oh, what? Do you have crystal balls? If only you had real... Ouch!
Oh, right.
He kicked me. Did you see that? He just kicked me.
That just cost you $500. The next insult goes for $1,000.
Your Honor,
Yes.
even if you find we were afforded full opportunity for cross-examination, what happened? The man had a heart attack. The danger of Miss Frutt coming off unsympathetic, it's too prejudicial.
I didn't say anything. I didn't kick anybody.
With all due respect, he has clearly lost his mind.
With all due respect, that just cost you $1,000.
May I speak?
You may speak. Do not kick. Do not stomp. Do not even move your legs.
Even if you were inclined to exclude Mr. Morgan's testimony on the grounds their cross was cut short, a decision which would border on judicial misconduct, we could nevertheless still introduce Mr. Morgan's statement that his wife Louise tried to kill him.
Why?
How?
As Mr. Morgan was suffering his fatal coronary, I asked him that question. He answered yes, an answer which would qualify as a dying declaration which need not be subject to cross-examination in order to be admissible.
Is that why you did that? Asked him to squeeze the doctor's hand, and you're calling me despicable?
Counsel.
These attacks are
The witness was
outrageous.
stroking out, and he asked a question to qualify a dying declaration, and it's the defense attorneys that are called scum?
Your Honor, scum should cost her $2,000.
Well, let me know when it costs 20, you vile, disgusting, repulsive little cockroach.
You are a desperate person, Ellen
grab
Eleanor.
a dying
Hey, I
man
bet
to
George
go for the
Vogelman
big
has a
win, and
brother.
then
Give
you
him a call. Go to
that
Cabo,
prohibited
huh?
law, you vicious little peanut! Hey!
I don't even know why I'm here.
You're here to keep them from killing each other. I am editing the videotape deposition personally. I will admit those parts where I feel you have had ample cross. We go to court tomorrow, and we will try the rest of it. Any of this nonsense goes on in my courtroom, I will be sending you to the bar with my recommendation for a 60-day suspension. Let them out. Hey, what's this I hear about you brokering eggs on the internet?
Funny. How's it going?
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. I just stopped by.
Oh, I can always tell when something's the matter with you, Jimmy. Your forehead beats up.
Okay. I like a lot of things about our relationship, but there's some stuff I find wanting.
You find wanting? What do you find wanting, Jimmy?
Well, I want to have a family one day. Soon. And I think I'm just kidding myself thinking that you and I could go that way.
Mm. You came in here to end our relationship?
Well, yes. I'm 37. I gotta take stock of what I am, where I'm going, take control of my life's direction.
You think you know yourself? You don't know yourself. I know you, Jimmy. And trust me when I tell you, you'll be coming back. Might take 2 months, maybe 3. But you'll be back. You want to know why?
No. Yeah.
Because of your mother and father. You were raised as a strict Catholic. You grew up sexually repressed. And what you're going to be looking for in a woman more than anything else is a woman who liberates you sexually, who makes you feel sexual. Do you really think that you can be with just anybody what you are with me? Best sex you have ever had, will ever have. You'll get it right here, nowhere even close. And whether you want to admit that to yourself or not, it's important to you.
Jury's back.
if you think I'll tolerate any of the nonsense that went on in that last trial...
I'm not entitled to freedom of speech?
That wasn't about free speech. That was intended for the jury.
It was not.
Oh, give me a break, Eleanor. They're not sequestered. She's hoping one or two of them will catch that little soundbite on the news.
Look, I am this close to ordering that you two never be allowed in the same courtroom again. Miss Frutt, consider yourself gagged. No more talking to the press. That's all. I'm sorry, Mr. Bay. I'm not going to allow the prosecution to call defense counsel to impeach a state's witness. You got a bad bounce. You'll just have to deal with it.
What a jip.
Excuse me.
This is a total jip.
Oh, that argument you'll definitely want to save for appeal. For now, let's go.